Welcome to episode 3 of the Barely Onside podcast with your hosts, Jonny G and Pelly. How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
Not
Good to
that
hear,
good.
man.
I'm all right, man. I'm all right.
Tough night last night, I know.
Tough night. The boys got they got rocked. Both teams did not perform.
No, not good.
No.
Before we get into that, how's the fam?
Fam's good, man.
Gotta ask. Yeah?
Fam is fantastic. Baby, small baby is sleeping 5 hours a night.
Nice.
Wife's happy. Yeah.
Right? That's good. That's good. That's good. The
How's
little
your
one's
fam,
been,
man?
The little one's
How's
been
your
keeping
fam?
me up. The little one's keeping me up. One of them, the 5-year-old. She's been crawling into bed with mommy and daddy for the last few weeks now. Last night she just didn't allow me to sleep. That's 2 nights in a row where I just didn't get to sleep. So I'm running on fumes, but that's okay. This is fun, and I love doing this. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So, dude,
Just gonna tucker her out.
that's right. So for everyone watching, which we know there's tons, do they notice anything different in this episode? If they're listening, I'm sure they do. It's our new microphones. We invested in some beautiful mics. How you enjoying your mic there, Pelly?
It's fantastic. It sounds a lot better.
It's
Good. It's good. Looks good. Look good. Feel good. Play good. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like we don't even have to do too much talking now because everything just sounds so good.
Oh, yeah. It sounds good.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Love that voice. Love that voice. So before we get started, I feel like we need to be accountable for the things that we say in our episodes. So last week, we made a couple mistakes. I mean, it's not a surprise. We're going to make mistakes here and there. We're not perfect. So, first one. There's no game limit on Oliver Kapanen before Montreal Canadiens have to make a decision on sending him back to Sweden or to stay with the big club. Doesn't matter how many games he plays. They can send him back whenever they like. Michkov did not score on the power play following the challenge of his first goal. Wasn't right away.
He did not.
But he still did score 2 goals. So we're not wrong there. Not wrong there. And lastly, I said Michael Pezzetta, had to wait 5 or 6 games last season before getting into the lineup, similar to this year. But that's not true. Going back and I looked at it, it took him 2 games to get back into the get back into the lineup. So to make his debut. So a couple things wrong. Not too bad. Not huge mistakes, but I mean, we're gonna be accountable. That's our gift to the viewers and to the listeners. So moving on. All right, we're gonna start in Montreal. You know what? Our last game was on Saturday, and you have to go through 2 full days. There's 3 sleeps before you finally get to watch another game. And I can't wait for game day, and it's all I can think about until from one game to the next. That's all I think about. So the excitement was there, but the result, and it did not take me long to lose my excitement as they scored 4 goals in the first, I don't know what it was, within the first 15 minutes at least, right? Sam Montembeault, although the team did not help him whatsoever, gave up 4 goals and 4 shots and was replaced by Caden Primo. He came in and stopped 32 of 33. He didn't look great, but that's still he definitely made some saves. So I know a lot of people are giving Primo a hard time. I don't mind him. It's still early. He's only played 3 games so far, 2 full games this game. So just relax, everybody. Relax. Nick Suzuki scores twice. Good to see him break out, finally score his first 2 goals of the season. But when they lose 7-2, it's hard to be excited for it. Because, I mean, as much as I am a Nick Suzuki fan, I'm more of a Montreal Canadiens fan. So I'd rather see the Montreal Canadiens do well than Nick Suzuki. New York was just all over us. Just all over.
They're such a good... Yeah, they're a good team.
They are one of the best.
Dude, offensively and defense, man, they're a big, strong team, and they move that puck. You can't be mad. Boys didn't show up. That's all it was.
Yeah, it was. It's true when you're playing like one of the top teams and with the best goalie and just so many offensive weapons. I mean, it's tough. I think last night it's pretty evident that we lack experience on the blue line. I mean, between Hudson, Logan Mailloux, Jaden Struble, Justin Barron, they have played a combined 171 games in the NHL. Hudson has played only 9 games. Mailloux has played 3. So the inexperience, I mean, they're inexperienced, that's for sure. Last night, you could tell that they had trouble. They had big-time trouble. But at the same time, I mean, this is good for them. Even though they got rocked on the score sheet, it's still good for them because moving forward, this is the future on defense. So you still have to play the heck out of Hudson. Gooley wasn't there; he's injured, but you still have to play. Give him big minutes. You got to let Barron play, Struble, and because in a couple of years, along with Reinbacher, this is the core. So if we do lose games along the way, have a few more games like this. I mean, it sucks to watch. It's not fun. But with these mistakes, with this ice time, with this opportunity, it's the only way they will get better. So, I mean, as much as it sucks, this is probably a good thing in the long run. And also,
I mean, you can't get too mad though. I mean, Slav wasn't playing, Gooley wasn't playing, right? So if they would have had those two studs in the lineup, you guys might have been a total different score.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah?
Like we are missing those two very important fellas. And
yeah.
I feel like we're missing Liney there. But yeah, it is. And I mean, that's the thing, right? So those guys Gooley logs over 20 some minutes a game, so like that's a big loss.
It is. And Arbor wasn't there. That could have maybe changed the dynamic, you know?
Yeah.
But
a little,
he hasn't been gelling. You know? What do you do?
I don't know. But you know what? As sketchy as they can be defensively, Logan Mailloux and Lane Hudson on a pairing together, man, they're so fun to watch. We all know like how good Hudson is, but like Logan Mailloux, his presence on the ice, the way he skates, the way he gets open, his physicality, like this could be a top pairing. It's a potential top pairing in my opinion. I mean, I love when they're out there. I love watching them. They do make mistakes, but I really do enjoy them playing together. But not their night. No one's night, really, except for Suzuki. Big night for Suzuki.
Yep.
He must be so happy right now. So happy.
Two Genos for the boy.
2 Genos.
2 Genos.
All right.
Man.
The elephant in the room. Last night was not a fun night for one player in particular. And I think you know who that is.
Yeah.
Did you see the hit?
hit?
And what did you think about it?
Oh man, he got laid out. But I mean, at least Trouba wasn't skating fast. I mean, it could have been a lot worse if he was actually had a lot of momentum. That's the Trouba train, man. Watch out. Vicious.
It is, man. And I don't mean to smile and laugh about this, but man, it's tough to see. But yeah, it is.
I
That's
hope he's
Trouba.
okay.
Yeah, me too, man. Obviously, Trouba in a nutshell, though. That's Trouba, man. You're right. Trouba train.
He hits the hurt. He hits the hurt, man. Got to keep your head up when he's out there. Yeah.
What do you think? Is it a clean hit? What do you think? What's your assessment on the play?
It wasn't. I mean, his head. I think it was clean, but it sucks. I mean, look at the Michkov hit last week. That sucked, but he kind of put himself in that position. What do you do? What do you do? What do you think it was?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously there's you see all these freeze frames and like these still frames of the play, and like
Yeah.
you could argue either way whether it's clean or not clean. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care if it's clean or not. Like his intention was to hurt him bad, and like hitting inside the game is supposed to be like taking a player out of the play, removing them from certain situations. It's not to destroy someone, not to like concuss someone, to injure them, to put them on the IR, send them to the hospital. Like that's not the point of hitting. It got to that point in the 2000s, in the 90s, 2000s, mid 2000s, but like right now it's not part of the game. And there's only a select few players who hit like that. And as much as I love like that old school rock'em sock'em type of hockey, but like you feel for the players this day and age, right? So like, should he get suspended? I think he should. Or I mean, someone else can take care of him. You know what I mean? Like put someone else in the lineup next time they meet, maybe a little Arbor Jack guy, and let him let him settle the score. But I mean, it just, yes, it might be clean. And maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets away with it. But like the fact is that you want to injure him. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. I'm sure he will. I don't see a suspension coming. But at the end of the day, he intended to hurt him, and that's not cool. I don't like that.
I know, man. It's I think your intentions aren't to like, injure the guy. But I think your intentions are to definitely hurt him in a way where you might put him out for a shift or two. But I think Barron definitely, if you look at the replay, he definitely should have had it. Head was down.
Yeah.
Should have been up. Trouba's right there. Like he should have been a little more intelligent, knowing what he's put himself in that position. But yeah, it's Trouba, man. Watch the fuck out.
It's true, man.
I feel bad for him, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's only a 22-year-old kid, right? So he's still puts himself in those. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, put himself in a vulnerable position, and he just got laid out. But hate to see a good Nova Scotia boy. Yeah, born and raised Antigonish here. Yeah,
yeah.
So always good to see a Nova Scotia-born player, but it's not fun seeing him get hit like that. All right, so Montreal.
I'm sure. Do you think Arbor, if he was playing, do you think he would have thrown a little tantrum and, jumped him?
I wonder, because I know Matheson went in and fought him, which was great. Fought Trouba, and he did a good job. All things considered, he did a good job. I know, and Josh Anderson later in, like maybe 5-6 minutes left in the game, he challenged him. Trouba said no, because that's the real fighter on this team. Like. Without Arbor there, Pizzetta was there too. Yeah. I think Pizzetta finished some checks against Trouba late in the game too, just to let him know. But I think Anderson, did want to fight him. He said no. But yeah, I mean Arbor. I don't know. Like there's a big discussion on social media right now whether or not Arbor should have been in the lineup, and would that have happened if Arbor wasn't there. But in my opinion, I mean, I don't think it really matters. The only fight that Arbor would have got into tonight, if Rempe was playing, would have been Arbor and Rempe. Like, he would have went after Trouba, no question, but I don't think that stops the play. I don't think that stops the play from happening, and I think Trouba does that either way. I mean, we saw 2 games in, when Barre, Barre hit Liney.
Yep.
I guess we did see Arbor react to that.
Oh, yeah.
Who went after Doc? Riley Gregg went after Doc. Arbor was on the ice. So, like, I mean, the fact is, I guess my point is that he was in the lineup, right? And those things still happen. So, so I still think Trouba, if he has that opportunity, he's going to finish that check 100% of the time, no matter who's in the lineup. Arbor, Jackeye, Nick Deslauriers, it doesn't matter, right? Funny you bring up Arbor though, because that's a good discussion. Because I mean, now with Barron obviously hurt. He's not playing next game. It looks like Arbor will draw back into the lineup unless Gooley's ready to go. It might be his final chance, to be honest. I mean, if everyone's healthy on the blue line, if everyone's healthy on the blue line, I don't see I don't see Martin St. Louis going to Arbor Jacki very much. And if that's the case, maybe it's just time to move on from Arbor. As much as I love him, as you can see, I have an Arbor Jacki jersey in the back. I do love him. I think he's a great hockey player. Great fighter. Sticks up for his teammates. Just love him. But at the same time, maybe he needs to go somewhere with a little less pressure on him. A little less eyeballs, because I think it's really getting to him. And just by the way by the things he says in interviews, saying that he's inside his own head, he's not happy with his game, all these types of things. Like, I just think maybe it would be nice for him to go to a quieter market where he can just play his game. Or Montreal could move him to the fourth line and play him on the wing with his brother Florian at some point, and maybe Luke Tuck, and then just let that line go. That would be fun. But I don't know. I just don't see him being. You're right. It would be. I just don't see him being a big piece to a key to this defense core moving forward. But hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe he turns. Maybe he gets back into the lineup. Maybe he plays well, and maybe he doesn't look back. But I'm not confident in that at this point. But I do love him.
I hope he does. I just love his story. He gets picked up in Junior B, working at Costco. Yeah. Everyone loves a Cinderella story. So if he could, change his game, and he only has a one-way contract, right? He can't get sent down.
No, not without going through waivers. So, yeah.
Gosh. Well, if he does get dropped, hopefully Philly. Just saying, pick him up.
Yeah, they could use someone like him on the blue line, man.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right.
Speaking
of the Flyers, man, they're not off to a good start. And last night, things didn't go very well either against the Capitals. 4-1. Lone goal by Travis Sanheim, assisted by Cam York and Matvei Michkov. Erson, that's how you pronounce his name, got the start, led in 4 goals and 29 shots. What can you say, man? What do you think about last night's game?
Personally, I think it was one of the worst games I've watched in a couple of years from the Flyers. They weren't gelling. They're making mistakes left and right. They couldn't move the puck up. A lot of turnovers. It's good to see Coots. He's been struggling, but it's good to see him second line or second shift out there, hits the crossbar. And if he would have scored, that momentum totally could have changed things, right? But I think, boys just were not playing good. And it sucks, So I think I hope Coots can kind of get back in his game. I mean, I think he's still kind of struggling from his back surgery. Confidence is probably not really there. And his role's changed. So I think he might have to get a therapist and figure that shit out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's players that do that now, man. There's players that get a mental therapist, a mental coach, or anything that helps, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was pretty good to see Delorier get his first start. He went toe-to-toe with their... What's his name?
Honestly,
Dylan Marath.
Is that how you say it?
That was a good little...
Is that how you say it?
I think a Dylan Marath. I don't know, but it was a nice square off. Two heavyweights. I think he's like 235.
Yeah, 6'5", I think, right? I thought I saw 6'5".
Man, Delorier can throw, and it's crazy how his defense for fighting people with a much taller and longer reach, exceptional. Like, he protects himself, takes it, and he just doesn't quit. He's like a bulldog in a cage, man. It's God bless him. Love that shit.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to get rattled in any fight, eh? He's just so calm.
Never.
It's just like, I'll do my thing.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because, like, I don't think people, if you were to say, top 5 fighters in the league, a lot of people probably wouldn't think Nick Delorier. I think he might be number 1. And I'm not trying to be biased. I'm not. But if you look at all his footage, he goes toe to toe. He can get a shit kicking and also give a shit kicking. Like, man. Yeah. And like Revo hits hard. Like, if he hits you, you're probably going down. Where Delorier doesn't hit that hard, but he's got that endurance, But I don't know. It's good to see him play. It's too bad the boys. Hopefully tonight's a totally different story, right?
Yeah.
Fucking tip it, man. He just needs to hit the net and shoot. My gosh.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, we can get into Tippett. Because Tippett,
he's
off to a slow start. So I'll just his last 2 seasons. I'm just gonna run off some numbers here. But 27 goals, 49 points in 2022-23 season.
Yeah.
And then he had last season was 28 goals and 53 points. I think he's got 1 assist or this year so far through 6, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't think he hasn't scored a goal yet, right?
No, he hasn't. He's gotten a point or two, but no, his lack of puck luck. It's just lack of puck luck, and I think it's bound to happen. I mean, he's eventually going to score, but a lot of players need to score. Like, a lot of guys aren't scoring. Frost hasn't had a goal yet. Poling there's so many guys that aren't scoring. And look at Tyler Forster. He got scratched last night because he's not playing good. And it's just like, yeah, it's what you got to do. Cates played all right. Lawton was -4 last night. Didn't really have his best night. Look at Drysdale. Drysdale, I think, is like -9 for the year. You know, so team's just not playing good, and it sucks because last year we were off to a great start. Yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully tonight's a totally different game, and hopefully it's really rough. Set the tone, set the bar high, give it your all, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you're right. What a great start to the season last year for all of them, and then obviously they dropped off at the end of the year. It just kind of feels like they're just continuing that type of play into this year, which is just insane because I mean they do have the talent and Tippett. I mean, and it's funny, right? Because you have your players who, like, the team's not playing well. It's a large part because the players aren't performing. Right? If Tippett was scoring, if Konecny was scoring, if everyone was scoring, they'd probably be winning more games. But the fact of the matter is that none of them can get it going. None of them can.
No, man. Like, if you even look at even plus and minuses, like Ryan Pelly is the only +1 player on the team. He's playing good. And he's getting moved up. But man, boys need to find their balance and just get out there and start playing hockey. I think the pressure's there with Matvey and Luchenko, Ivan Fedotov, Harrison's #1. I think everyone's just at a mental, in their own heads. But they need to get that shit together. Yeah.
Ryan Pelly. Okay, I don't know if I saw this correctly, but was he moved to like #1 center last night? Was he moved up in the lineup?
He was number. I think he was #2, but I can't confirm that.
I think so. I think it was top 6 at least. I think. But
he was up. Because Coots was back, so Pelly was #2. I think. I don't know. I don't really remember too much of last night for some reason, but kids.
Yeah, not memorable. Not memorable. You got kids. I just saw some Habs fans trolling on Twitter or X, sorry, and it was just like, we always knew that Ryan Pelly was a first line center.
Dude, he's good, man. Like if
he is,
he's a good player, man, and he's probably not the best for. Actually, he's pretty good for power kill, but he's playing good. Give him credit, and I'm happy we signed him. And so it's. I think we just need to figure out the goaltending situation because Fedotov, man, hasn't won a game yet. I think he needs it's been a pretty rocky start for him. He's got a really bad goals against. I don't know if it's a style of play, but I think he needs to he's so tall, like he needs to bend his knees more where he covers more of that net and stays more square. But yeah, we're in a situation where goaltending, you just don't know. Because Harrison hasn't even played that good either. They're both in the low 8s. Kolosov, he's probably should get his chance to play because he's got a better goals against than Fedotov, but still, he's not that good either. Like, I think what's what is Kolosov? Kolosov is at 8.78 right now, where
In the AHL.
you know, Fedotov in the AHL, yeah, still not the best. But,
No.
It's not. So, yeah, Flyers are. I think we've been better moods before, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do?
Fedotov's 8.18.
818. Yeah. Do you send him down? Is that the answer? You send him down and see what he can do in the AHL?
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? Really? I mean, yeah, it's not a terrible idea. Like, you're not going to get any worse. 1-4-1, right? So
yeah, I know. At this point, right? He hasn't done anything to prove that he is ready for the NHL or going to be a good goaltender in the NHL. He obviously had some great numbers in the KHL, and at that height, there's a lot of hope that he was going to step into the NHL and perform right away. But it looks like he just might need some seasoning in the AHL.
He just needs a little bit of seasoning, a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting used to the new ice, the new the physical game, a different style of play. It's probably a little easier. I've never played at this level. But I mean, I'm sure it's a little easier to adapt to when the players aren't as good as they are in the NHL. So I imagine a little time with the Phantoms, I think would probably do them good. Who knows?
I think so.
I don't know if
Confidence.
Alexei Kolosov, I don't know if he's the answer. But maybe you guys look at going to get a veteran goalie somewhere.
Hey, man, I'm kind of sad that we didn't pick up a few of the goalies that were available. Not that we could have afforded Swayman, but still, there was a few goalies that we could have picked up.
Can you imagine? I know. I'm surprised that nobody threw an offer sheet
offered
at Swayman.
I know, and remember what Edmonton and St. Louis?
Yeah.
That was greasy.
Do you see how good Broberg played?
Yeah, man.
He's got 6-7 points or something already.
He's doing good, man.
Yeah,
happy for him.
Yeah, he has more points than Bouchard right now. Mind you, that might not last. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so even 2 years ago. This damn delay. But go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, no, I was going to say in yesterday's game, Ovi, he didn't get a goal. I think tonight, going back to DC, hopefully Luchenko can play. I think he needs to pop his cherry and get a goal, just something, create some offense and hopefully some intelligence there. But if you can maybe switch up the lines, put Deloria in again, and just set the tone right away. I can drop the mitts, get the energy going, finish your checks. The boys aren't finishing your checks. And, man, fucking Eric Johnson, I need him to step up more. When I watched him in Calgary, he was physical.
Johnson,
I didn't
Calgary?
realize how physical he was. Yeah, when they played Calgary Flames there a couple weeks back.
Oh, okay. I thought you said when he played for the Flames.
Yeah.
When he played against the
Flames.
Okay,
Yeah. So I think the boys need to step up more and get a little more physical, especially after when TK got rocked back in. Whose game was it when
Edmonton?
TK and Matvey got rocked?
Edmonton.
Was it Edmonton? No.
No, Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah, it pisses me off that no one stepped up. And I know some people might get emotional. Oh, why do they have to fight after someone gets hit? It's not the point. It's just sticking up for a teammate, saying, hey, don't do it. No. You can. If the guy wants to say yes, he can say yes. If he doesn't want to fight, he says no. But no one, it just pisses me off.
I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way. I have the same feeling. All this, guys shouldn't fight after a clean hit. Yes, they should.
Yeah.
If the hit injures your teammate. If clean is clean, but at the same time, if you knock someone out or you can cuss somebody or whatever it is, man. Yes, step up and fight him. I don't care if it's clean or not. If you're gonna try to injure my player, injure my teammate, then you're gonna have to answer the bell. I don't clean or not, because what that does is that next time, maybe that player does not make that hit. He thinks twice about making that hit. And that's a win.
Yeah,
and that's
man.
why you do it. That's why you stand up for your teammates, so they don't take liberties and do things like that. Again, it's a very simple concept.
And
really.
And then you're flipping the energy. You know, if a guy gets hit, that team sparks that team. But when then you fight, hopefully you can win back, spark up your team. Look what happened in Edmonton. When we were what? I think it was 2-2 in the third period. Who fought? Was it Nurse? No, Corey Perry. Corey Perry fought. What happened?
Yeah.
Momentum. They end up winning that game. But they've done that. Edmonton has done that 2 games in a row. They fought. What happened? They end up winning.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
yeah.
Little physicality is good. It's good for everybody, right?
It is, man. Yeah, you gotta stand up for your teammates no matter what it is, man. Don't care.
Absolutely.
Clean or not.
Absolutely.
Clean or
bring it
not.
on.
So Lachenko. I know we didn't have this on the agenda today, but it's 6 games in. He's got 3 more games before they have to make a decision on this guy. How does he have 1 point? I don't even know if he has a point yet. And he's been left out of the lineup too.
No, he's got no points.
No points. Left out of the lineup 2 or 3 games, maybe 2 games.
It was Calgary. I think it's just only been 2 games.
I think
Calgary,
he said 2 games.
Yesterday, yeah. So he's played 4 games. So 2 games.
Yeah, so 3 to go.
So
he's not a regular in the lineup. There's a good chance that he'll be sent back to junior. I'd imagine, right?
I don't know, dude. Everyone knows Torts is a wild card. He likes him. I like him. It's tough to say, you know. I think let's see how these next 3 games play out. We'll find out, man. We'll find out.
You think
he still has 5 games to play, right? He's only played 4 games.
Oh, right. I guess it wouldn't have to be the 9 games. Yeah, okay. So you're right.
Yeah, he still has 5 games. So, I mean, he's only played,
3.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's played 4. Okay.
Right? But, I mean, at least we're not dead last. We have, 3 points.
Yeah, it begs the question, man. Is this Philadelphia Flyers team, is it playoffs or is it lottery pick here?
Well, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. But hey, we're not at least. Well, I don't think San Jose's won a game yet. Nashville got their first win yesterday.
Right. Yes.
So
we're
not dead last.
Yeah,
so.
We can. You know what? Let's talk about. I think I've had enough Flyers and Habs talk for the night, for the day. So yeah, let's move on to around the NHL. And like you said, Nashville did get their first win of the season last night, and it was a good win. It was a 4-0 win over the Boston Bruins. Saros,
that's a good win.
UC Saros with a 33 save shutout. So that's huge because he was not off to a good start. They're now 1-5, 1-5 to start the season.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny that it's taken them this long to get their first win. Obviously, they had a big summer, signing 3 massive players in Steven Stamkos, 4-year deal, Jonathan Marchessault, 5-year deal, and Brady Shea. It's 7x7 for Brady Shea. So obviously some big numbers. Then they also re-signed Yuri Saros. So really, this was an all-in kind of summer, right? Like they're hoping to go to not just a playoff contender, but a Stanley Cup contender. I think that's what they were going. That's what they were going for when they targeted all these players. Stammer has got 1 goal in 6 games. What's going on?
I know, man. I don't know. I think, like you said, I think people need to find chemistry and stuff too, right? But he's one of the best, man. I think he'll pull himself together. Just give it a few more games, and they're going to get hot because they have all the right pieces: defense, offense, and they have one of the best goaltenders. I think it's just the chemistry, right? I mean, it's the same thing with the Flyers. There's no consistency in the lines. They keep shuffling, trying to figure out that chemistry, right? So I think that's just what's going to happen with Stammy. So wish him the best. He'll do good.
No,
he'll
for sure,
figure
man.
it out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was telling you this the other day. It's like a relationship in a sense, right? Like if you move on too fast to the next relationship after abruptly leaving another relationship, then there's an adjustment period. And sometimes you just need that time to heal. You need that time to get over it. The grieving process. Yes, exactly. So I think Stammer, once everything settles down just a little bit more, I think he will be fine because obviously he's an elite goal scorer, an elite hockey player. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time before he finds his groove. And you're right. Like, this team's way too good to be this bad. So I imagine, if the faster they can get back to 500, the better. And I think once they get on a little roll, and it might have already started, a big win against Boston.
Hey.
So this might be the start of their turnaround. But we'll see. It would be kind of funny if they didn't turn things around, and they went all in and they suck. It's kind of interesting, kind of fun too.
Look at last year. Last year they did the same thing. They kind of went on a slump, and then next thing you know, they're in the wild card for playoffs.
Right.
So
that's the thing. Yeah.
You can't count them out, man. You can't.
No.
And it's so early. Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
But no, it's true though, right? Like it's just so funny, Nashville, because they went from like hey, are we gonna have to break things down? Are we gonna trade Saros? Are we gonna kind of rebuild? And then all of a sudden it's just like, nope, we're going all in with what we got, and we're gonna sign some players, and we're gonna turn into contenders here. So, but anyways, enough about Nashville.
Anyways,
moving on. Okay, let's talk. Oh gosh, this is a good one. Let's talk about Cutter Gauthier and Rutger McGrody. Don't even know his name. Don't even care. But
Rutger McGrody.
So your boy,
Philly.
and Philly favorite Cutter Gauthier gets his first 2 points of the season after going pointless in his first 5 games. That must make you and Flyers Nation pretty excited to see him finally get it going.
Yeah, I think it's awesome to see him struggle. If I feel like the players, when you see a humble player and they do well, it's great. But when you see Cutter, he got 2 points last night. Good for him. Happy for you. But seeing him get benched, it's hilarious, right? And I think it's awesome to see that Matvei Michkov had 2 Genos his, third game. He's got 6 points or something like that.
Something like that. I think he's right up at the
like
top.
that. Yeah, 6 or 7 points, I think. But yeah, I think Matvei Michkov's going to benchmark him against Cutter this year for number 1. That's what I think's going to happen. I don't think he's going to benchmark himself against Bedard. I think he wants to blow Cutter out of the water and say, "Hey, pound Sam." That's what I would do. We didn't need you, kid.
We didn't need you.
What I mean? And then
didn't need you.
Yeah. And then they're best friends. He was the captain of the World Juniors. Well, I think they were. I mean, they must be somewhat friends.
Right.
They won a gold medal together, right? But seeing he pulled the same stuff, saying he doesn't want to play for the Jets because he didn't want to get sent down, and you have that mentality. Now you're playing with one of the best players in the world, Crosby, and then what happens? Oh, sorry, kid, you're not that good, and you're down to the minors. He must be feeling like a piece of shit, and I love it.
Yeah,
I fucking love it. Yeah. So hey, that's why you got to be humble, man. Stay humble.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's just positive, man. Don't be a douche.
Yeah. I know. And
you learn.
And they really didn't, both of them, they really didn't explain themselves and why they wanted out of the, the organization that drafted them. And it didn't come across very, just came across as really arrogant and selfish and just kind of it wasn't a good look for either of them. But I guess they've got what they wanted. But I mean, I'm glad he's down in Wilkes-Barre, and I'm not glad they're struggling, but I mean, it's just a reality check, a little humble. Just like you said,
that's exactly.
They just need to be humbled.
That's exactly
it, man. Just be grateful for getting drafted into the NHL. No matter where you go, and what the heck, Winnipeg's a great team, man. We should actually just
Yeah.
Let's talk about Winnipeg because Winnipeg is off to a 6-0 start. They beat St. Louis last night 3-2, led by Kyle Connor who scored a goal and Cole Perfetti with 3 apples. Man, what a great
He's
start!
lighting it up.
Wonderful, man. Like they're doing so well. Mark Scheifele's having a great start to the year. Nikolai Ehlers and freaking Connor Hellebuck.
Connor.
Is this guy the best goaltender in the entire league? Has to be the best goalie in the league.
He's well, he just re-sign a contract or no?
Yeah, him and Scheifele
No,
did.
he didn't.
No, him and
Yeah, they
Scheifele.
did.
I think they signed the exact same contract. Not last season, but the season before, like prior to the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both signed in the summer.
Yeah,
they
man.
both committed to, I think it was 7-year deals or 8-year deals, and they just committed to Winnipeg, which is awesome because, I mean, not everyone wants to go to Winnipeg, but to have guys like this want to stay, I mean, that goes a long way because, you know, the Kyle Connor's probably going to want to stay long-term. Cole Perfetti will probably want to stay long-term. I'm not sure what they're doing with Nikolai Ehlers. There's a lot of talk about him not staying with Winnipeg and not re-signing, so we'll see about that. But look at these numbers, man. Look at these numbers by Hellebuck. He's 5-0. His goals against is 140. A save percentage of 948, and he has 1 shutout. He's led in just 7 goals in 5 games played. Like, what the heck, man?
That's wild. That's wild, man. But not only that, look at if you look at the whole roster, you know, you got Scheifele 8 points, Ehlers 8 points, Perfetti 7, Morrissey 7, Neil Pionk 7 points. Like every player except a couple have 1 to 8 points. That's wild.
Yeah.
These boys are buzzing.
They
It's
are,
awesome.
man.
Good for
And
them.
It is good
Yeah,
for them
man.
because, I mean, Winnipeg's one of the best markets when they're going, right? Like, when they're playing well, Winnipeg is one of the... They have some of the greatest fans, right?
The fans, man, and that stadium, they're loyal, and, you know, they're not like Flyer fans. Flyer fans are ruthless. They will boo you. In
Yes,
any
yeah.
sport, you'll hear from them if you're not playing good. And that's another thing I like about them.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
I'm the same way.
diehards.
I like that, too. I mean, because, like, you look at Toronto, like a team like Toronto, and no matter how bad they are, and they've been bad prior to this, like, new regime back, you know, they were so bad for so long, but they still sell out every game. And it's just like, that's
Every
not
night.
good. Because the team's not accountable. The management's not accountable. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to fill the building either way. So the owner's like, whatever, doesn't matter. But I remember Montreal. Like, when Montreal used to suck back in, like, the mid-2000s, or maybe the 2010s or whatever, or something like that. When they went through a really bad stretch somewhere in the 2000 to 2010. They had a really bad stretch, and fans stopped going to games because they don't want to go watch these players suck. This team suck.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Montreal. It's just like, oh, they're not so loyal. They are loyal. They're just not stupid. They just don't want to spend the money to go watch them lose. I mean, now is a little different because there is a lot of excitement in Montreal still, right? There's a lot of good young players. Like,
Yeah.
there's excitement. There's something to be excited about. But, like, when Montreal's losing, I mean, they're not going to go to the games as much. Like, you know, we'll put our foot down and be like, hey, put something on the ice or we're not coming. You know, a little more pressure on management, a little more pressure on the owner. So, but, like, Toronto is just like,
Yeah,
oh, no,
be better.
Toronto. Yeah, be better. So we need fans like that. Like Philly, boo. Montreal deserves to be booed right now, too. I don't mind that. Boo them. Man, I've been in the
Yeah,
Bell Center. I've
it's
booed them.
tough.
I've booed them. But I've also cheered
Yeah.
them. But you also cheer them hard when they play well. You know? And that's what,
I know.
that's what it's all about. That's
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
But yeah, but
It ain't
Winnipeg.
easy.
It is funny though, Winnipeg, man. Like, because last year they got off to a really good start. They kind of died down a little
Hot
bit
start, too.
near the end of the season.
Yeah,
they
same
kind
thing.
of, and then got spanked in the first round of the playoffs. Hellebuck was brutal. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping this year things are a little different and they can really make a big push. Because like right now, like, is there any team in the NHL who is better than the Winnipeg Jets? I don't think there is. Not one
I don't
team.
think no one's.
I mean,
yeah.
there's definitely teams who can play with them for sure. But I mean, overall, I think
Yeah.
I think they've got it all, man. They got all the pieces in place to seriously make a cup run. Because if they face Colorado again this year, There's no way Colorado's coming out of that. I don't even know if Colorado's going to make the playoffs, let alone.
It's not looking good for them. Yeah, they need to find their goaltending. They are not doing good. And I think there might be some animosity with, is it Rantanen?
Rantanen?
I heard there might be some.
Oh, he's a free agent next year. His contract's up. That's where Montreal's going to throw in a huge offer, give him all the money, man. Rantanen going to Montreal.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Not first, because people have talked about it already. But if Montreal wants to go big, what is it, big game hunting, big fish, whatever that is. I think Rantanen's the player that they have to get, because you add him to your top 6, and you got Slav, who's huge, you got Doc, who's huge, and then Rantanen's like 6'4", 3, 4, 5, like huge boy too. Like then you're talking. Then you're talking.
And I hope too, though, like, you know, I hope Gabriel, you know, I hope he gets the stuff. He's such a good leader for Colorado. You know, he fights, he shoots, he sets up. You know, it's tough to see a guy like that battle injuries for the last 10 years, but man, he's such a good leader. So hopefully he gets better. The boys can bounce back, and, you know, hopefully their goalie will figure his stuff out, because it seems there's a lot of teams that are just struggling this year, not performing. It's the point. The players aren't scoring. Like, it's a weird year. It's a weird year, man. Calgary's off to a great start. You know,
big
Utah.
win last night. Big win last night. Did you see it as a comeback win? Because I know.
I love it.
Wild.
Man.
Yeah. I know. Are they for real? Are they for real? Calgary for real?
Hey, man. Hubie's playing good. Your Kadri's playing good. Backlund's playing good. You had Kirkland with the shootout winner yesterday, and then their goalie Wolf. He is just...
He's the X factor.
Unreal. He's playing good, man. You know, and I think Wolf's only like 6'1". Not a big goalie, but man, he stays so square with that puck, and he gets down low. They're playing great, man. I'm happy for Calgary.
Me too.
You know, good for them, man.
I know. And you're not too far from Calgary, so it's probably a little extra, you know, exciting to see, a little fun to see, being so close to that team. Yeah.
A couple minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so on to our final segment. It's a very exciting segment. The Habs and Flyers meet for the first time this year on Saturday, bringing us to Habs Flyers predictions, brought to you by nobody. But if you're interested, we do have an open slot. So my DMs are open. Pelly's DMs are open. Please, honestly, please, come on. All right, moving on. So we're going to do some predictions. We're going to have a little bit of fun. And what we'll do, it'll be kind of like a rapid fire kind of thing. We're not going to spend too much time explaining on why we're going to make these choices. So we'll wrap up the show this way. So we'll start with you, Pelly. We'll start with your predictions, okay? So who's going to win the game? Is it going to be Montreal, or is it going to be the Philadelphia Flyers?
Man, that's a loaded question. I don't know. Obviously, I want to say the Flyers. But like when we played you guys in the preseason, Primo was just unreal that game. You guys played exceptional. If the boys can start scoring, yeah, who knows? Will our goaltending be great? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to say Flyers win 3-2 shootout.
All right, final score, 3-2 shootout. Okay.
Yeah.
Who scores the game's first goal?
I'm going to say Couturier.
Okay. That would be good for him.
Couturier.
Who's winning who's scoring the game winning goal?
Frost.
All right. And last question for you, which player is most likely to get into a fight?
Delorier. Against Arbor.
Ooh, that's not a bad one. If Arbor plays, he probably won't, but
he will.
All right. I'll give you my predictions quickly. And
we'll
go over this next week when we record our next podcast. Who's going to win the game? Montreal, obviously. Who's final score? I am going to go 4-2 Montreal. Who scores the game's first goal? I will go with Captain Nick Suzuki, who scores the game-winning goal. I will give that to... I mean, it's all just guesses, really, but I have no rhyme or reason for any of this. I will go with... Oliver Kapanen. His first NHL goal.
Cappy.
He's playing on the second line. Marty St. Louis had him on the second line yesterday with Newhook and Armia. He played pretty good. All things considering, I think Kapanen played a really strong game. I was doubtful for the decision to put him up there at this point, but he played well. Mm-hmm. Which player is most likely to get into a fight? I'm going to go off the board here, and I'm going to say Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach is going to get pissed, and he's going to fight somebody. That's my prediction.
Have a little tantrum.
Exactly. His wires are going to cross. And here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
One more thing here, John.
Yes,
one more thing.
yes.
I think the Montreal and Flyer game, it's going to be the battle of the rookies. I really do. You're going to have Slav. You're going to have Kapanen. And then who's your other guy?
There's Heineman. Yeah, Heineman.
Hudson.
Heineman
and Hudson.
Mayu.
And then for the Flyers, and the Flyers, you're going to have Luchenko.
Nope.
Right? Mm-hmm. I think Brink's going to do great. I think Forrester's going to do well. And then you're going to have Maffei out there. It's going to be the battle of the rookies, I'm telling you.
It is.
It's going to be fun, fast game to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun and fast, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, you're right, man. Like, as much as we want our teams to be good right now, and, we want them to make the playoffs right now. We want them to be in the mix right now. If we're not, I mean, it makes sense. These two teams are young, but they're skillful. They have a lot of good players on both sides, right? Like, you have tons of great prospects on the Flyers. There's tons of good prospects on the Montreal Canadiens. So these two teams in 5-6 years things could be a little different. Like, they could be contenders, they could be in the playoffs. So I mean, we have to preach patience with these two teams. As much as we want to see them win now, we do have to be a little more patient because we do have a lot of young prospects, a lot of young players coming up. So we just gotta wait till they peak, wait till they fully find their game. But anyways, okay, well, that pretty much does it, unless you have anything else that you wanted to chat about. Yeah,
no, I don't. I hope the boys do well tonight. Hope the boys.
Right, we should touch on that just a little bit. Yeah. Tell me.
Ovi's going to go pointless again. Ovi's not going to get a goal. Okay. Set the tone. Fight. Finish your checks. Pucks in deep. Fucking go. Fucking fire it up.
Keep it simple.
Let's go.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Get her done.
Fucking old time hockey. Let's go. Sick of this sweater vest bullshit, right? Let's go. I'm done.
Let's do it. We're done. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening, watching another episode of the Barely Onside podcast. Please follow us on Twitter at @barely_onside, at Barely Onside podcast on Facebook and on TikTok. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, very exciting, Pelly, we are now on Spotify. So please, we're looking for at least one follower, one subscriber to start. So do it. I think this was our best episode to date. I think I'm just excited for next week, and just want to thank everybody again who is listening. Pelly, great job today, man. We killed it. We're out. Until next time.
Good job, Johnny. See you, everybody.
See ya.